Yeah. I'm not sure if it's because I am on medication. Like I took one of my epilepsy pills, Keppra. It kind of turns off some of the signals to your from your brain to your body. I took some Keppra, my pain medicine that they prescribed, and doubling up on my acetaminophen. And I am happy to report that I'm feeling pretty damn good, and I'm able to actually eat. I like to eat good food. I made a roast, a beef roast, and like I seared it. And then I did potatoes and carrots and a whole bunch of onions in it, and I slow roasted it, and then I kind of pureed it a little bit. Um, and I'm happy to report I don't have to just eat with these two pointy teeth over here. I was only able to like chew with those for the last couple of days. Well, I hadn't been chewing anything really, but that's the only ones I could use when I did put something in my mouth. But it might just be the fact that I took all those medicines that's making me, feel good enough. But I'm slowly able to chew or put pressure, because this is all broken over here. Um, I'm happy to report that I'm feeling pretty damn good. It might just be the medicine and the fact that I just love eating, roasts with my vegetables like that. Feeling pretty good. It must be the medicine. Just looking at myself right now, it must be the medicine. But I don't actually have any real sensation or feeling on this part of my face over here. I have to be very careful when chewing because I could accidentally chew my cheek and not even realize it. Just like if you go to the dentist and get numbed up, they tell you don't eat because you could accidentally fucking eat your face. That's the type of numbness that I do have over there, and it's not because they numbed it for me. It's because the nerves are either they got pressure on them or they've been severed or for whatever reason. I mean, the numbness is literally like it starts at the very seam of my body right here, and it goes up, and then it under my eye here, all this under from the bottom. I can feel my top eyelid. I can't feel my lower eyelid, and I'm happy. I'm honestly happy for that. Otherwise, I might be in more pain. But yeah, so ain't it ain't I think I'm slowly getting better. Obviously, I'm having trouble speaking a little bit still, but I think that's just because I'm a little bit slow and not because somebody beat my ass. I'm hoping that I won't have too much of a lisp, eventually. But if I do continue to have a lisp, then or a hiss, whatever you want to call it, a lisp, then like someday when I do get some false teeth, nobody will really be able to tell the difference because I already sound right now. I already sound like I have false teeth in my mouth. but but yeah, like the Doctor Khan, um, she's such a sweetheart. She's like she was asking me like how well I eat or something. She wasn't talking about like after the injury. She was actually wondering if I am, because I guess my file says that I'm homeless or whatever. I don't know. They know that I don't drive, and they're concerned that I couldn't get to like the doctors that will be able to help me. So I mean, they know enough about me to for her to ask me if I have enough food basically and am able to actually cook it and stuff. And I think she might have been a little surprised for me to hear me say, like, no, yeah, I like a cache of meat in the freezer, and I do, and I have, my own vegetables. Just because I'm homeless doesn't mean that I don't know how to have a garden or something. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, I'm stoked. I mean, just getting this food in me. I mean, I don't know what time it is. When you slow cook something, you you got to start early in the morning if you want to eat it at a decent time. But I didn't start mine until 6 o'clock last night. But heck, man, I was so hungry. I mean, I was tired too. So I mean, I was like, at first I was like so hungry. I was ambitious. I was like, I'm gonna cook a beef roast. And but then at the same time, I was so tired that that I was actually dreading, like, while I was making it. I was just forcing myself to do it. And then I gladly passed out until just an hour ago or something. That way you could sleep the whole 6 hours while it's cooking, because that's the way I like to do my roasts. I cook them, you know, at a very low temperature for a long time. A lot of people, if you like have an oven and you have it set, and you can see the temperature. I have it. I'll cook my meat at anywhere from like 250 to 285 degrees. Like, I think all you have to do to to your meat, to have it cooked, and have no dangerous stuff in it, is, I think all you gotta do is have it at 160 for a certain amount of time, and that'll kill any kind of dangerous microbes or whatever. But yeah, so like, that's, a lot of people don't even they're like, what are you doing, warming your meat? It's like, no, I'm cooking it at that temperature for on purpose. 350 degrees, you can't, if you cook your meat at 350 degrees, it'll be done in 2 hours or 3 hours or something, and it won't, all the fibers in it won't be broken down enough for it to actually be real tender. You know what I mean? So if you like your meat to be tender, the trick is to use the lowest temperature for a lengthy amount of time. And that's why I don't know why or how or what the heck people like about, rare meat. Like, you have to really chew meat that's, what do you call that? I was gonna say, under easy, rare, whatever. Like, whenever it's red still, like, it's like chewing gum. It's like, who would like to eat meat that is so freaking chewy that you could chew on it for an hour and still be a piece of something solid in your mouth? That's disgusting. You know what I mean? That's gross. People are gross. Um, yeah, that's weird. Like when I think about having to eat like meat that's still red a little, like, beef, I think like it all get, like, if you eat a bunch of it, or you're eating, like, for, you're having a meal, like a long meal that's an hour or something, like, that meat gets shoved up into your teeth, like between your teeth, and it it builds up, like, cuz it doesn't fall apart easy. You know what I mean? Like, you have to use toothpicks real a lot, and like dental floss, just to get that rare bloody meat out from between your teeth, because it's freaking still holding together so good. It's like, ugh, people are gross. And but yeah, I cook my meat like a champion. Um, yeah, I'm feeling better, feeling a lot better, but it's probably because those doctors gave me feel good pills. But I hope that I'm not gonna be sorry that I've been chewing. I mean, I'm not really chewing. Like I said, my meat's so tender, and then I kind of pureed it a little bit, but you know how beef is, it's real kind of stringy, so you still have to do some chewing with it. And but yeah, you take your roast and your vegetables, and you know you can just kind of like make mashed potatoes with your carrots and your potatoes and your onions, and you know you make sure them onions are slow cooked with your food, so that you know they just turn to juice, basically. Like you know they're so sweet, and you know they add so much sweetness to the carrots and the potatoes. Like even without the meat, you mash them together, and it's so good. Like, and I never mix my food before. Like I'm one of those picky eating kids that you know I won't even eat off of a plate where the two different foods are touching. You know what I mean? Like that's gross. Don't let my bread touch my spaghetti. That's yucky. Um, yeah, I'm one of those types of people. But once I discovered, you know, what like a roast tastes like with the vegetables and stuff, like I fell in love, and like that's like one of my main that's one of my main sources of sustenance. And you know, I use my food stamps, and I'll go to the store whenever there's a sale on. Like I really don't like anything smaller than like a London broil. Like that's too, you know, like I don't like chicken legs, and even pork chops are kind of, you know, they're too small to cook long enough to make them be tender. You know what I'm saying? So like I'll buy London broils, and I like to slow roast. You know, like I think London broils are meant to be broiled, which you know would be a red meat. You know, like they're only cooked on the outside basically. So what I do with London broils is I'll stack them two or three against each other to make like a fake roast. You know, it's an almost roast, and I'll put them all together so I can cover them with vegetables, and then slow roast them. You know, after you sear 'em. You have to sear when you roast meat. If you really want it to taste good, you got to sear it. You know, so you'd heat up a pan real hot. You know, you want it to be medium high heat. You have it real hot, and you put like you know a tablespoon of oil on the pan, and then you sear each side of your meat for 2 minutes. You know, you make sure that you put your seasonings and everything on your meat, and you sear each side for 2 minutes or maybe a little more. You know, until that it's you know got it'll caramelize, and it won't be stuck to the pan. Like if you move it before it's caramelized, then you know everything that's on the meat will stick to the pan. That's why you have to cook it at a high heat for 2 minutes, and then once it's caramelized, it'll slide around on the pan. You know, that's when you flip it, and then you sear the other side, and you do that to each side and each end, and that way it actually flavors all those seasonings will cook into the meat. And what it does, like if you ever struggle to keep your meat from getting dried out or something, like you just can't seem to cook meat without it becoming dry, you it's because you have to sear each side of it, and that way whenever it's cooking, the moisture and the fats in the meat will be inside the meat, you know, because there's a shell on the outside of that caramelized flavoring. And if that doesn't make you hungry or want some, just hearing someone talk like that, oh my goodness, then you don't even know what tastes good, you know what I mean? But but yeah, I eat pretty good for a homeless guy. Um and for somebody that just got socked in the face, you know, like maybe maybe I was just being a wuss, you know what I mean? Like he didn't even hit me hard enough to make it to where it's hard to eat a beef roast. I I keep seeing myself just stomping on whoever hit me's throat, you know, like choke them out, you know, make them unconscious, and then just use the heel of my foot and collapse their esophagus. Not enough to kill them, just enough, you know, to where they would still be able to survive long enough to crawl a few hundred feet.